Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For our very first champion spotlight, we will be looking at Bruenor, the dwarf fighter. Now, Bruenor will, in most cases, be used as a support or buffing character for your main DPS champion. Why is this? Well, if you look at his stats, currently we have 3 champions who focus on stat-based buffs. We have Zorbu for Dex, which he buffs for 15 or higher, which Bruenor doesn't make. Intelligence with Dadius, which is like 14. And then Charisma with Hitch, that's at a 13. So he falls short of all 3. However, if you want to use him as a DPS, you'll pick his inspired specialization and try and fit him in the middle of all champions like I have here. I did try it out. He's a pretty respectable damage dealer with a fairly short cooldown, so you'll want to be using Tyrell over Barrowin if you decide to use him as a DPS. But generally, you'll be using him as a support. Why is this? Well, apart from him being the very first champion that you have access to, his strength lies in the rally ability. Now, rally, as we see here, buffs all the champions in the same column, and that doesn't require him to be adjacent or right next to your main damage dealer, which frees up a lot of spots and allows you to have more flexibility within the formation itself. Now, when we're looking at upgrades, Bruenor has a fair amount of DPS upgrades, which keeps him relevant with clearing out waves as you progress to your wall. But he has a very good amount of these, oh my god, these blue, I actually don't know what that was, these blue markers here, which affect his group buffing ability. Now, he's had a couple golden epics released by the as of the recording of this video. And we can see that there's the beard clips, his many notched axe, and yeah, his ring. At the moment, there's no way to get these again, but they might come up later. Really, it was just the rally one that really helped out people, and I guess the golden beard clips. But anyway, I'm digressing. Looking at his items, you can kind of glean the information on the making of Bruenor. We see in his first slot, which is pretty traditional to be increasing the champion's own damage, and then in the second slot, increasing all damage of champions. In the third and fourth slot, and this is where it kind of differs from champion to champion, here we have his self-buffing ability and then his group buffing or his column buffing ability. This kind of tells me that they're allowing him to be viable as either a DPS or as a support. And he does have that flexibility. And as standard in 5th and 6th slots, you have ultimate damage and ultimate cooldown stuff. So this champion is kind of like the gold standard or the cookie cutter of champions that we'll be basing off of for future videos. Finally, and probably the most interesting thing about him in terms of synergy is an almost complete combination that involves the Companions of the Hall, where Dristo Erden is kind of the star, which you'll find out more in his video. But once Wolfgar has been released, Bruenor's stance or ranking in slot formation might go up depending on who you want to use. At the moment, he does share a slot with Deacon, who is also pretty good. And depending on who's better, you might it could be a hard choice. For me, I use my my little spreadsheet here to see buff wise, and we see that Bruenor's battle is up there. So the battle is for the rally. Actually, let me hold on. I like having music play sound when in background. Yeah. So his group buffing ability with rally is pretty comparable to these other ones, but Deacon really blows him out of the water. So that's something to think about. And this is all purely based on gear. But Bruenor will have a lot of longevity in your formation for quite some time. Anyway, that was a pretty quick look at Bruenor and discussing his usefulness in the party. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you watch the other videos to see just how the other champions tick and how they're useful in the formation. Thanks. Bye.